Hi, in this video I'm going to help you get your Sonoff Basic working with Google Home, Google Assistant, whatever you want to call it. And that starts now. Hi, this is Ron Nutter, and you're seeing another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time, we're going to continue with work we've been doing with the Sonoff Basic. I know this is Sonoff RF, but there's a minor difference between this and the Basic, but for what we're doing, it will work just fine. Now, we're going to walk through the steps of getting this to work with Google Assistant. So it really could not be more straightforward. So let's switch over to the phone. And there we go. Now, through the magic of technology, you're looking directly at my phone. So the first thing we'll go and do is, just like before in the basic troubleshooting steps, just to make sure we got everything working, we'll go into the IoT folder I've got on the phone. We'll go into the Ewelink program and let it get all happy, and it sees the basic is there, or it would have already be complaining. And we'll tap it. We'll turn it on. Okay, now you see the little glare over here on the right. So that says that we've got that working, because when you start to troubleshoot stuff, you've got to start with the basics. Or for those of you who've got some IT background, you got to start at layer one, the physical layer, because sometimes it will be that straightforward. Okay, so we've got this up and running. So now we will go over to Google Home. And this is where you do the configuration. Google Assistant is just where we get to play with the bells and whistles. So we'll go to Google Home, and we'll go up here in the upper left-hand corner where you see those three horizontal bars. And we'll go down here where it says Home Control. Now, at this point, you can see from the previous, I was trying to scroll up the screen. I had the wrong cursor going. You can see, of course, we've still got our LFX in place. So to add the Sonoff devices, we'll just tap on plus. We'll scroll pretty close down to the bottom here. And you'd think we could have a hotkey or something at that point, but no. Okay. So we're about, there we go. Now we see it's the one that says Smart Ewelink. Okay, we'll tap on that. Now, this takes us to the Ewelink portal, and that's where we've got to give it right. So we'll tell it we're United States, and then you'll go down here and you'll enter in username and password. And as you were used to me doing in the past, we're going to switch back over here because I want to keep the credentials I use protected. And so I went into my password manager, which I use M-Secure, but use whatever you feel comfortable with. But please, please, as you do any of these devices that have a cloud account, use a password manager and use a separate password at a minimum on all these. Now, some of them want to use your email address, and that way it also lets them contact you if they want to get you marketing materials or there's an update. But please, if you can use something other than your email account, do so. Or maybe set up not a pseudo account, but you could set up an alternate email address. So that way, if you see an email come in to that one, you know it should only be from certain devices or manufacturers. So we will go copy over the username and password. Come on. It's a matter of the typing and doing the cutting and pasting. And we'll bring the password over. And that's not what I wanted to do. I typed on the wrong part of the screen. Come on. Come on. It's a matter, you got to type it just the way it wants it and then tap on paste. Okay, so I will tap on login, and then we'll shift back over here to the app. And now it's linking the account. And you can assign it to a room, but right now we're dealing with just a very basic setup, so we're not going to get that fancy. And we'll say done, so it gets used to the device. Just click got it. Well, you can't see the got it. Now you can see the got it. And then it will finish. So now you see, we scroll down here ever so slightly, you see the Sonoff Basic 1. Well, if you saw the other video you did, my pronouncing Sonoff, it apparently didn't like. So what we will do is we'll come up here and we'll tap on Sonoff Basic 1, and then we'll tap on the nickname field. And this allows us to refer to the Sonoff Basic 1 by another name. So that way you can keep it however you've got it in the Ewelink app, but then also give it a name that's more user-friendly or just makes more sense to you. So we'll just call it Basic. And tap OK. Saves the nickname. And then we'll just tap on the left arrow in the upper hand part of the screen. Okay, so it still says no room sign. I'll have another video on that, because where the setting of the room names comes in handy is if you want to have the same name in multiple rooms. The room name gives you another layer above that, but we'll get to that at another point. Okay, so now we're back on the main screen, so everything is peachy keen at this point. We'll get out of Google Home, and we'll go over to the voice portion, which is the assistant. Turn Basic on.
Sure, turning the Basic on.
And that's all there is to it. Now, we can't do any dimming with the Sonos with the factory firmware. There could be a version at some point that will allow that or provide that functionality. I have heard there are some third-party firmware packages. At this point, I'm staying with the factory firmware just because I want to get to learn how to use it with the way the factory set it. We can get fancy later on, but that's, as they say, another video. So we're going to try it one more time here, and this time, because we've already given it one command, I've got my Google Assistant to not listen all the time. And sometimes you'll hear in my videos, you'll hear a voice answering in the background. Well, I've got Alexas and Google Assistants all over my house, so that can be a challenge at times, which is why I don't have the phone set to listen all the time, because I don't think it needs to for the most part. Turn Basic off.
You got it. Turning the Basic off.
And just one more time, we'll cycle it. Turn Basic on.
Okay, turning on the Basic.
Turn Basic off.
You got it. Turning off the Basic.
So, as you can see, I mean, you really can't get it much simpler than that. You just put in the credentials for Sonoff when you're setting it up in Google Home, and then it just works. I've got some other things working now. Officially from Sonoff, they do not have support for Microsoft Cortana. I think I found a way to do it, and hopefully here, in the next few days, I'll get the kinks out of that piece of armor, and then I'll be able to work that through for you and show you a way to do it. It'll be a little more involved than setting it up for either the Echo or Google's Assistant, but at least it's an option. So if you are going down the Cortana route and you've got the Harman Kardon or you're using the software piece, I'm getting very attached to my Harman Kardon. There's another video I've got planned for that, because it's the sound it's got is very, it was more than what I expected. Of course, with Harman Kardon, that it's a quality name. Don't want to let things get away from us too much. If the video's been helping, and from the feedback I've gotten so far, and had two folks sign up today, Southern Dad, I believe, was one, and the other name escapes me right offhand. Thank you very much for signing up. I really appreciate that, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as a first step, because that's going to let me do some other things with the channel, get some sponsors to come on board, and there's some other options. There in the description for this video, you will see some affiliate links. One is to get your own Sonoff. If you're doing this with a smartphone, and you'll see me going back and forth between the Galaxy 9 and an iPhone 6 Plus. I've thought long and hard about getting to a newer iPhone, but it just, the price versus the benefits just were not there for me at this point. So I went with the Galaxy S9 Plus. If you're on an airtime plan that maybe it's getting into your pockets a little bit. I've also got links in here that will take you over to Straight Talk. That's my provider. Well, for both phones at this point, I'm moving the SIM card back and forth so I don't have to have two airtime plans for right now. I've been very pleased with Straight Talk. They have a nice little affiliate program that will help me, if you sign up for service, and it will also help you because I've been very pleased. I was on AT&T and I was paying, right at $100 a month or a little over by the time you get taxes. It's now half of that with Straight Talk. So it's really, it's a very easy thing to do. And if you're looking at this as a nonprofit or as a service organization, there's always smartphones laying around that don't have cell service. With a little bit of work, you don't have to have a SIM card in these. And for most of the phones, they can be made to use as a smart remote. So you could give somebody a used phone that, especially if they don't need cell service, and they could control the Sonoff. It's been very easy for me, much easier than I had expected, because I've dealt with some real challenging configurations. I appreciate everybody's time watching me go through this. As you see, the Google Assistant was very straightforward to do. As we keep doing the videos, and I'm trying to get at least 2 to 3 done a week. If there's anything you'd like to see me do, please let me know. I'm looking at some other options, not just lights, but lights and electrical outlets. And this is where the Sonoff Basic gives you options that it's kind of a multi-purpose device. It can't do any dimming at this point in time because it's got a hard relay on the inside, but you can turn small appliances off. They say limited to about 10 amps. I'd probably come in under that, but it is certainly a utilitarian option, because for $5 and you cut into an extension cord and you put this in it, because that's all I've got running on this one. It's a $3 extension cord I got off of Amazon and put the Sonoff right in the middle, and it just works. So if you've got any questions, please reach out to me. I would appreciate your liking the video. If it's something that's been able to help you, please feel free to pass this on to anybody. And then also what we're going to be looking to do is in the coming months, and I'm hoping to do it within about 2 months. It may push more into summer a little bit because I'm trying to get some other devices in and show everybody. I will be coming out with a book. And at this time, I'll try to do an almost simultaneous release on both Kindle and paperback. Normally, I delay the paperback in coming out, but I want this to get in everybody's hands. If a group of you wants to get together and has any questions, or you'd like to suggest some things we look at, I'd be happy to set up a video conference so that we can kind of have a round table with this one, or we can do a Facebook Live and I can set up another computer to watch the comments. I'd be glad to do it, or I can't help you, because I want this to be something that gives value to you, and especially if you're looking for this to help someone who is disabled or physically challenged. If you want to look at this as a service project for your organization, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to do whatever I can, because if we all help each other, then this world's a far better place. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you again soon.